Well, second and third graders, we're gonna keep working on our rural landscapes. If there's anything that you're missing that you need to draw with pencil, you can take a quick minute to do that. But I would like you to finish outlining with marker. So I'm gonna outline any of my pencil. If you miss one of the lines a little bit, we can do some erasing when we're done. But finish finding those details. I added, like, I don't have anything right here, but if I did just want to have like a little bit of longer grass or a bush, you can draw some of these ideas right in here with a marker. If you didn't finish your sky, add that in here too. When you're all done outlining it, then we're going to do a little bit of erasing, if you can see any of the pencil. So I've got just another detail left. So now you can use the end of your pencil if you need to erase any of it, but if you have a larger eraser like this, I usually use a bigger eraser just so I don't wear out the one that's on my pencil. So use whatever you have. And then when this is done, we're gonna start coloring in the details. So please don't rush, take your time. If you, so I still have some erasing, but we'll pretend that it's done. When this is done, I would like you to be able to color in the details. Mostly we're gonna start with crayon. I'm gonna look into oil pastels for us to use. So mainly I would like you to work on giving your details some color. So here, instead of just using one color, I know that barns are usually red, but I might add, I'm just gonna be using this 8-color box. We might talk about getting a 16 or a 24 box. I'm gonna use some orange and mix it into my red so I get kind of a red-orange. That's definitely something that I'm gonna be looking for, is that we're trying out some color mixing. So red and orange are right next to each other on the color wheel. You can put those in here. Or if you have a different red, you could mix those two together to get a good mix, okay? Now the same idea for these, I'm gonna add a little bit of black to the top of this barn's roof here. I'm just taking my time. Hold your crayon down low a little bit so you don't end up breaking it. If you break it, that's okay, but it won't last quite as long. So I'm gonna add a little bit of detail to these. When that's done, I'm gonna look for another detail that I wanna color. So here, I don't have a different color brown for my trees, so I'm gonna use a combination of brown and black and yellow. This will lighten up some of the brown. So I'm gonna put a little bit of that in here. If you did have some tan or a different color brown, feel free. But I'm gonna add that in there, and then that is gonna lighten up some of the brown so that some of it's a little bit darker, some of it's a little bit lighter. And then when that's all done, then I can even add a little bit of black to it to add some shading and shadow. So I might take this and so just work on the details and then adding a little bit of color mixing to it. One of the things I'm thinking about for this tree, I'm gonna make it more of a fall tree so that I can do some green grasses. So it might be like a golden color, or it might be orange, or it might be red, but I am gonna do a combination of colors. So here, getting a good mix so it's not just straight brown, but it's got kind of a yellow underneath to make it lighter, and then a little bit of a black to add some shadow. I'm gonna just pick that up and move that over here. And then, so here, I'm gonna do, for my tree, I'm gonna do a mixture of some orange and yellow, and maybe even a touch of red to make it look like a fall tree. Still using skills of observation to make it look real. Add a little bit of yellow in here on top to get a mix. And you can see that I am pressing the color on pretty hard. That's why my finger is like way down at the tip, so I don't end up breaking the end of it off. I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow out here, and then I'm gonna switch into a little bit of red to give it kind of a fall color. And out on that red, I'm gonna put, because if the tree were green and the grass were green, then it would all kind of blend together. So that's why I'm picking the colors that I'm picking. So it still looks real, but it'll stand out from the background. So now that I have this done, add a little more yellow in here to fill in any of those white spots. So if there's any white spots, please fill those in too. Once I have that done, then I'm gonna think about any of these other details. Sometimes if I lay some blue onto some grass, I can get a really dark green. So since I only have one green in this 8-color box, I want this green to be a little darker. So I chose to put blue on it first, and then that's gonna make it a really dark green. So try that out. Coloring in these details. If you wanna trace in some stuff. A good detail would be like this, this flower down here. I'm gonna color that with some, do this one with some orange. With a yellow center. With some green here. I might even add a little bit of blue. Or I could do green with a little bit of yellow to lighten that up, okay? So if it's a detail like a tree, barn, zigzag lines or bushes, you can start that, but I don't want you to color all of it because next time I'm gonna talk to you about adding some shading of going dark to light. So we're gonna save that for next week. So if it's a flower, if it's a tree, if it's a barn, yes, color it. But next week we're gonna talk about shading dark to light. So please don't color in all of the grass or all of the dirt or all of the wheat or corn. Leave that for next time. I can start to add maybe like a little bit of like a light blue to the bottoms of the clouds. I would leave the rest of them white, but I'm just gonna get some detail in here, okay? I'm gonna do the sun. Maybe I'm gonna add a little bit of orange, and then I'm gonna clean off this had green on it, so I wanna make sure that doesn't get in there, so I'm gonna clean that off, and then do a mix here too, okay? I could pick some colors for my wind. Maybe I want this to be a really dark blue, so if I want it to be a super dark blue, put some purple on it first, and then put blue on top. That'll make your blue even darker. So just outlining and coloring in the details today. We'll talk about filling in the land with shading of dark to light next time. So please don't color all of the land, don't color all of the sky. We'll talk about that next time.